Welcome to Ladies on a Roll. Today's special guest has her own podcast called Spirituality for Control Freaks. That's where she helps you spiritually awaken. She's a control freak too. Go figure. Please welcome Becca Shellooe.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Becca.
Hi.
So, look, for all my guests, I allow them to pick out the show that has some type of meaning or connection to their past. And you picked out Full House and Fuller House.
Hell yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's great. Well, for our listeners out there, if you're not familiar with the premise of these two shows, Full House was made back in 1987 through 1995. It was about a widow father raising his 3 girls, and his school friend and brother-in-law come to live with him. And if you don't know what Fuller House, wait till you hear this. It was made in 2016 to 2020, and the daughter, who is DJ, she's a mother of 3 young boys and is a recent widow. Well, go figure. Maybe people should not marry into this family. Anyway, kind of feel like, you know, her father and her are a little bit cursed. You know,
right?
That's kind of, yeah. Anyways, her best friend and sister move in to help her raise her sons. Wow, what an interesting coincidence that is.
Oh, my God.
So, well, Becca, tell us why you chose Full and Fuller House.
Okay. Well, I picked them because honestly, they were the ones that I watched the most during my childhood, honestly.
Yeah.
I remember they would come on all the time and we'd just rewatch them over and over again. And I was a 90s baby, so it was just inevitable that I'd absolutely fall in love with Uncle Jesse and want to watch it all the time.
How old were you?
Well, okay, so I watched all the reruns because when it ended in 95, I would have only been 4.
Hey, my last guess was into older men at the age of 4. So at this point, nothing would surprise me.
I'm running around learning how to be potty trained and being like, Uncle Jesse. Yeah. No, I do the rewatching. And I just remember sitting and watching it with my family, and I loved it because I was raised in a really like religious household. So that was one of the few things we were able to watch because it was all wholesome and clean and like, yay, a bunch of blonde people learning lessons. Who the hell doesn't like that?
So if you were watching reruns, they probably were not in order. So you saw like, you know, season 5 to season 1 and all that type of stuff. Did you just really relate to the characters or?
I did because I was raised in a family with 4 girls. So for me, I'm watching this going, oh, Stephanie, I totally get you.
Oh, you like, so Stephanie was one of your favorite characters?
You know, when you like don't like something about someone else only to realize it's because it's a part of your personality.
Oh, no.
It was one of those.
Oh, no.
No, I would have to say, I mean, obviously Michelle was everyone's favorite, right? Because she was the little cute, adorable, very sassy little character. So.
Sassy.
Oh my God. Yeah. Some of the things she said, I'm like, oh, I would not. My parents would have.
You got it, dude.
Okay, well, that was one of the cuter ones that she said. You got it, dude.
You got it, dude.
Oh my God. Yeah. It was a good show. It was fun to watch.
Well, did you have a favorite episode?
And favorite? Okay, so honest to God, one of my favorite moments, it was actually from episode 1 when they're trying to change Michelle's diaper. Just because I'm a mom and now that I've done the whole diapering thing and we're almost to potty training, I'm just watching it and going, I so relate to just like dunking a baby.
Oh my gosh.
It was hilarious. Dunking the baby in water and then wrapping her in toilet paper or paper towels.
Yeah,
or
that
something.
will work.
Yeah, right? Yeah. She looked so calm during the whole thing.
And
I'm like,
1985 toilet paper was so much stronger than it was in 2022. I mean, I think it was still 1 ply, you know, toilet paper. So yeah, that didn't sound like it would work.
That had to have been one of my favorite scenes was actually that one.
Wow. Well, one of the episodes I really enjoyed, I had to write it down. Well, first of all, I liked the whole first season. That whole first season I really liked. And the reason why is the kids were really cute. I mean, just really cute. And their acting, oh my gosh, was amazing for little kids.
Oh, yeah.
They had to memorize so many lines.
They did.
And they were like a huge part of the show. They just weren't like a side piece. They were a huge part of the show. And oh my gosh, Jodie Sweeting, who plays Stephanie, she was so cute. She was so cute.
Oh my God.
And I absolutely loved and adored her. And DJ was great too. Don't get me wrong. You know, Candace Cameron was great too. She ended up, her acting skills got better as she got older. But Jodie was great and consistent throughout. So I really appreciated their acting, you know, as young kids, and whoever trained them did a really, really good job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember during that time period, especially like in the early 90s, they would replace kids all the time for older versions.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember this happening on multiple shows that I loved. And so one of the things that made Full House unique was the fact that they kept the same child actors the entire time, and they got to watch them grow up.
Yeah.
That was what was so cool for me.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
And I would definitely agree with you about Candace. Her acting got phenomenal when she was a teenager. I was actually like, okay, girl, get it.
Yeah, she knew how to kick it. She really did. So we were talking about favorite episodes. So like I was saying, like the whole first season was great. After that, the reason why I had issues with the other seasons, the kids were getting older and losing a little bit of their cuteness, like Stephanie, which was Jodie Sweetin at the time. So Jodie had some type of, you know, like personal struggle with the show. Like you could kind of see it just interacting.
Yeah.
You know, she's getting a little older. She lost that cute little kid voice she had. And she's kind of having like a little bit of a middle child syndrome in real life on the show.
Teenagers are not cute.
They're
Celeste.
not.
They're not. I can tell you that I had like a favorite time period. And honestly, that was when Jesse and Rebecca got married. Like that, like after that whole like period of time for the show for me was just like, oh, I love this. And then they had twins and you're just like, oh my God, they're adorable. So I like that chunk of time. As far as episodes go, the Disneyland episode was really fun to watch, to see all the, did you get to see that one?
Yes.
Yeah, where they're all like in actual Disney World.
Yes.
And you're going, oh my God, that's so cool. I think I liked it because you got to see all the characters trying to be in real life when they're so used to being on a set.
Yeah.
That they were kind of like, it was funny because you could see on their faces a couple times, they're like, okay, I'm in real life right now and I need to act like so and so. Yeah. Which I always thought would be really tricky, going from a set to actual life and still having to be your character. I always wondered if that was just like weird for actors.
Yeah, you know, I've never been put in that type of position myself as an actor, but I would say it'd be kind of weird.
Right.
I know, like, if you do certain types of roles and you have to get out of that mindset to take a break, or, you know, they have to adjust something, it can be difficult. So I don't know. I mean, but they were young. So
that's true.
They were still young.
That's true.
Yeah.
Another one that was really cool was when Uncle Jesse got to play with the Beach Boys.
Oh, yeah. Well, you do you know why that is?
Yeah. Oh, my God. I actually do know why.
Oh, okay. Well, we can say that then. That must be under your John Stamos thing.
I do have it under my John Stamos
Oh, okay.
stuff. Yeah.
Well, if you want, we could talk about what we learned about our actors right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Well, what did you learn about the John Stamos?
The beautiful John Stamos.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that he's aged so beautifully.
He's gorgeous.
Hi, John. I doubt you will ever hear this.
He won't.
Okay. No,
there's only 3 people that listen to this podcast.
Okay, because there's hope, Celeste. Maybe there's a little bit of
hope.
No hope.
No hope.
All right. So I did learn that there was another actor who wanted the role. And I think he was up for the role, but they obviously went with John Stamos. I think it was because of musical talent. I'm not sure. David, I'm going to butcher the hell out of his last name. Okay.
Okay.
David Duchovny? Is it Duchovny?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my
David
God.
David Duchovny was up for Jesse?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
He wanted that role so bad.
Well, that would have been a whole other different ball game.
I don't know. Is David Duchovny musical? Do you know?
I don't know that offhand. That is a Google moment.
Let me fucking Google that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was up for the role, or he really wanted the role, or something along those lines. That was between the two.
Okay.
And so I also found that John Stamos basically performed with the Beach Boys before Full House even started. And I guess, okay, I had no idea, because when you're watching Full House, you're going, did he learn guitar for this role? Or did he know it before this role or whatever?
Yeah.
Apparently, the man can do drums and guitar.
Right.
And he did lead vocals on the Beach Boys forever.
Yes.
And I went, oh my God.
He also toured with them.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What he did the 50th anniversary.
Yes.
And I was going, what a freaking trip, man. So yeah, that's why the Beach Boys popped up so many times in this freaking show.
They had, they had one of the episodes where they got to go play with the Beach Boys.
Exactly.
So yeah.
I thought that was sick.
Yeah. But he's an amazing actor. I mean, the reason why he got so popular, I mean, do you have that he was on General Hospital?
I did see that he was on General Hospital. I mean, wasn't he was only in a small role, right? It wasn't a super recurring role.
I remember him back in the day because I watched General Hospital back then.
My mom did too.
I roughly remember him. He had like a medium role. Wasn't too small. It wasn't too big. Yeah, reoccurring. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. And he was a really hunky looking guy.
Who the hell wouldn't want that man on their show? Come on.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, back then. Whew, Nelly. Yeah. In Scrubs?
Yeah, he would have been delicious for sure. What else you got on the poor guy that we can dream about?
Well, Have Mercy was actually ad-libbed.
Right.
It was not written.
Yeah, they all had catchphrases.
I know, but it was
not weird.
Some of them were written by the actual writers.
Right.
And his apparently, he said it once and they went, oh man. But yeah, pretty much that's what I got is like his musical career is insane.
Yeah.
He oddly enough didn't win an award for Full House. The closest thing he got was TV Land's like best Elvis impression, which apparently they made it for 2007 and never awarded it again.
Oh, it was a one-time thing.
It was a one-time thing.
Just to see him walk up on stage.
Yeah. I'm like, but why didn't he win anything else, man? Why?
He did win a daytime Emmy for General Hospital.
But not for Full House.
No, he did not.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
I got to do Bob Saget, who I absolutely love.
R.I.P.
And the difficulty about doing Bob Saget is that he actually has a long list of stuff. First and foremost, he was a stand-up comedian, which is close and dear to my heart. Because I used to do stand-up comedy, and I still miss it. Prior to him getting the gig on Full House, there actually was another actor who not only played Danny Tanner, but was in the pilot. And I'm just like, wow. His name was John Posey.
Did they ever air that pilot?
No, they did not air the pilot. I mean, a lot of time pilots were for corporate offices to see what the show would look like and how the feel and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And the reason why they didn't have Bob Saget was he was on another show at the time. It was like a morning show on CBS, and they were trying to kind of lighten it up and make it funny, but it didn't work. So when that show fell through, Bob Saget was available, and they went and got him.
Remember reading something where he had such a bad potty mouth on stage or on set that the moms were always so irritated because he just couldn't keep it together.
Yeah. I read a lot about that type of stuff where he was so inappropriate on set sometimes that they had to like kind of shield the kids away from what he was doing. He would like mock, humping a mannequin and stuff like that.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of tales from the set stories about him and stuff.
So it's so funny because I first knew about Bob Saget through Full House. The second way I knew about him was, didn't he do
America's Funniest Videos?
So that was the second one. So two very wholesome roles.
Yeah.
I had no idea that the man even uttered the word fuck until I was like 12. Then I realized, oh my God, like, who is this person?
Yeah.
It was very jarring for me.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people had problems when they would go see his stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
But he didn't do a lot of stand-up comedy while he was on the shows. It was kind of afterwards that he picked it back up. Mm-hmm. But I I kept looking or trying to find something that maybe he had a clause in his contract that he could not do stand-up because he was so filthy. And he was on 2 very, very wholesome shows. So I was trying to find something, but I could not find anything factual. But I do know he was not performing at the time he was doing those shows.
I mean, like I said, very jarring. It was.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I kind of think that they would have done that.
Yeah.
Because honest to God, the first time I ever heard him cuss, I was like, Danny Tanner, no.
Well, and that's what a lot of people would say is that, so when he went and started doing his, comedy rounds and was performing at different places, people were in shock. They thought they were going to see a G-rated stand-up comedy show. And instead it was like rated R to the 13th degree of his language. So
they thought it was gonna be like all hugs and like a motivational speaker kind of bullshit, and they're like, oh my God, what did he just say? Vaginas.
And I don't know, have you ever heard any of his stand-up?
I heard one, and I just remember being very, very shocked.
Yeah.
But I was younger at the time, so I was like, oh my God. But I'm pretty sure I'd probably want to re-listen now that I'm an adult. I probably would find them fucking funny now that I actually say fucking stuff.
He is very, very funny, but back then it was jarring, just like you said. Like, a lot of people thought it was, wait, there's 2 different dichotomies happening here. Like, is he the good father or is he the filthy comedian? So he would have people walk out on his shows because of it. People.
Well, yeah.
I kind of wanted to know what he was thinking back in those days when he was doing stand-up, and it was not long after the shows had finished airing.
If you have a certain look, people automatically assume, I call it resting angel face instead of resting bitch face, just because if you look like adorable and cute like we do, then it's like people automatically assume that you're not funny or you can't say the word fuck,
right?
Or like for some reason they get all offended and weird. And I actually think that might have been what Bob Saget's problem was because he was in the role of Danny Tanner.
Yeah,
he had that like angelic, I'm the perfect father.
But it was
goodness.
the times. It was the era and the years that he was doing it in. Now we can do that. This is 2022. Bob Saget can completely get away with that.
For sure, but back then
it just wasn't there yet. And that's where he had that struggle, was that trying to pull off that dirty comedian thing was his passion, but it was a struggle because people weren't ready for it, and people were not in that mentality then. The other thing too I wanted to mention, it was very sad this year Bob Saget passed away.
R.I.P. big man.
My condolences to Bob Saget's family. Who else did you have, or was that it?
I had Andrea Barber.
Andrea Barber.
I didn't get a lot as far as like, because most of her acting career that I saw was back when she was a kid.
Yes.
She played the best friend, but she got the most awards for her Full House role than any other person.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts. I looked it up and I was just, so they won a group award as like the most like lovable, unconventional family or something like that. But Andrea Barber, she and Mary-Kate and Ashley, those guys were the people who got the most awards.
Really?
So she got the award for, because she was also in Days of Our Lives.
She was?
She had a recurring role. She was super like itty bitty.
Okay.
But she won 2 awards for her Days of Our Lives role.
I did not know that at all. That's amazing.
She won Outstanding Youth Actress in a Daytime Soap Opera. And then Outstanding Youth Actress in a Daytime Serial.
Daytime Serial.
Not the Munch Munch kind.
Okay. Probably like reoccurring or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But okay. So she won 2 awards before she was like 7, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, it was insane. And then for Full House, it was basically the best supporting role in a television series. She won that twice.
Wow.
And so like, I don't think anyone else won that many other than Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Wow. Yeah, they were really, the twins were definitely very popular back then.
But funny enough, they didn't win anything for Full House.
No, I don't think I found anything either, or even nominated.
No, they won it for one of their movies. So that would make Andrea one of the only cast members to
Wow.
win an actual like multiple awards for Full House.
You know, it's kind of funny because her role as Kimmy
I loved
on
Kimmy.
there, like I'm watching this now as an adult in 2022, and there was times where she was just kind of annoying, but then I thought, you know, but that's good, because any type of reaction to an actor and what they're doing, even if it's annoyance or anger or, you know, whatever it is, it's because they're portraying the character so well that they're emoting that feeling from you, you know? So I had to take a step back going, oh, okay, this scene is driving me crazy a little bit. But then I realized, okay, but she's a kid and she's actually doing a really good job convincing me that she's an annoying kid. So good for her. I found her adult acting so much better. Like, she was the comic relief of the house. Mm-hmm. And basically all the characters replaced the men. So the men was the responsible dad, which was DJ in Fuller House. You had the talented brother-in-law. So that was Stephanie. She was talented. She had music as a background. She played guitar. Remember, she used to travel around a little bit playing music. And then the comedic relief was Joey, and then Fuller House was Kimmy. Mm-hmm. So they all equaled each other in replacement.
I love that.
And I felt Kimmy's character, they allowed her to be way more over the top than she was as a kid. And I was there for it. I loved it. I love Fuller House just a little bit more than I liked Full House.
Okay.
But I liked it. I like Kimmy's acting, or Andrea's acting, as a kid and as an adult. She was definitely a hit.
I totally get why she won the awards.
I do too.
I loved Kimmy. That was honestly, that's why I picked her. I was like, her character, number one, you feel bad for her because you hear little snippets that the writers put in about her like family life.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're going, oh my gosh, like it sounds like she had a really tough family life.
It did.
Yeah.
And there was some discrepancies. Now, we're going all over the place today.
That's totally cool.
But,
that's how I roll.
There is a discrepancy in Kimmy's background that I caught.
Lay it on me, girl. What'd you find?
Ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready for this.
In season 1, she mentions that she has 3 sisters, and she never mentions them again.
Oh.
And then in Fuller House, she has a brother.
Oh.
So we're like...
So the writers were like,
what happened to your sisters? Did they mysteriously die? Did you annoy them to death? Like,
yeah. My stinky feet just made them obliterated. Yeah. Honestly, I loved that character simply because she was the comic relief. Mm-hmm. I did feel like they picked on her a little bit too much though. Like, yeah. But I work with kids, so my mentality is like, can we all just like not treat children like they're crap and treat them like they're going to be awesome so that they feel like they can be awesome.
So I got Jodie Sweetin, and one of the interesting things I found out about her, she was a very young child actress. She was very cute. I loved her in the show.
Super cute.
So a really interesting fact is that her parents were both in prison at the same time, and she was adopted and raised as an only child by her uncle Sam Sweetin, and his second wife, Janice, when she was only 9 months old.
Did you write down what her parents did?
No, I couldn't find it. I tried. I'm like, what did her parents do?
If they don't talk about it, then I'm like,
no. Her uncle and aunt got her in TV very early.
Dude.
And, yeah.
Well, she was adorable.
She was very cute.
And if she can memorize those lines.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So the other thing I discovered is when she finished Full House, she was a teenager, and she was about 13, 14. And all of a sudden she's kind of like put back into society, and she's trying to gauge herself. She ended up starting drinking at an early age, like 13, 14. And then she went into meth.
Wow.
And she struggled with that for a long time.
Jodie.
She ended up getting married at 20. She ended up getting a divorce not long after that. She ended up marrying another guy. I'm not going to mention his name because he was not a nice guy.
Oh, okay.
But she ended up getting pregnant from him. I believe they divorced in 2010. Mm-hmm. And then she recently is with someone a little bit older, and having more of a mature relationship from there.
Wow.
So yeah, she didn't really do too much acting. She tried. She went to school for acting. She went to college for acting. She was trying, but she was struggling to kind of shake off that childhood image of herself.
Well, yeah. If you're known, like with Bob Saget, if you're known for the role that you are in, I mean, my God, it's such an influential role, something that was so culturally I feel like all of them had a hard time shaking off their personas.
Yeah, well, and it was the time. So like in the 80s, if you were a child actor, almost all the child actors from the 80s had difficulties transitioning into adulthood acting. And there was, it was just, it was a stigmatism. It was, you didn't, after you grow up, there was nothing left for you. And I don't know why that was in the business. I actually don't recall those reasons. But my best recollection of it from back then is like, well, you're used up. You're no longer cute. People aren't going to take you as a serious actor. So going from a child actor to an adult actor was a huge struggle. Very few got through it and got to the other side and continued doing it. I mean, Candace was able to do it. She found her niche. But Jodie wasn't. She definitely struggled. I don't like the fact that teenagers are put into an adult situation like that.
Agreed.
Where they're trying to navigate themselves, navigate their life, and they don't know how to handle it. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to counteract it. And they don't know the conversations they should have with themselves about it either. They're not equipped for it.
Yeah, and what they're seeing is on social media.
Exactly.
Alter yourself, filters.
Yes.
Your natural body isn't correct. You need to wear waist trainers, which those are fucking corsets.
Yeah.
Get over our fucking selves.
Yeah, it's
Lord.
That's like saying it's a training bra. You're not training them.
Sit.
Yeah.
Good boobs.
Yes, exactly. No one's training your. I don't think they use the term training bras anymore, do they?
I don't think they do.
Okay, that's an old-fashioned term. Sorry for dating myself.
They were called training bras when I was around, but I mean, those were mostly just because walking down the stairs hurts. So you're like, I need something, dude. Like, this sucks. But yeah, I can only imagine what Jodie had to go through. And from what I saw in Fuller House, she got curvaceous. Like,
Jodie did? Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did. She's a woman.
Up. Well, she went from like 5 to, 12, 13. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she grew up.
Yeah, like you do. And you get fat.
Well, and so let's bring up that factor in season 5 real quick. The Oliver factor happened in season 5. Do you know what the Oliver factor is?
No.
This is something I'm now starting to talk about in almost every episode that I'm doing. The Oliver factor is something that happened in the Brady Bunch. All the kids in the Brady Bunch lost their cuteness and lost their little sweet touches, and they were growing up. Like Cindy lost her lisp, and she was getting older, and pigtails were too much for her. So they bring in Cousin Oliver, who is absolutely adorable. Mm-hmm. And Cousin Oliver is supposed to try to save the show because they think, oh, we'll bring in another cute kid and this will bring up ratings. So in Full House, they bring in an adorable factor. Why? Because Mary-Kate and Ashley are running off doing movies. And then when they are on set, they're getting older and they're getting more sarcastic and sassy. Mm-hmm. So they're no longer cute. They're just sassy. And so what they do is all of a sudden, Jesse and Rebecca have twin boys. What? How adorable. They're so cute. Oh my God.
So cute.
I'm going to lose my mind. So...
They were so fucking cute.
But you know what? They were not talented.
No, they were.
And let me tell you why. Because Mary-Kate and Ashley had a lot more lines. They could do a lot more at the same exact ages and at the same exact points. Mm-hmm. And that's why Mary-Kate and Ashley got so popular. They were able to hit their marks. Mm-hmm. These twin boys could not hit their marks. They didn't do anything extra. They could barely talk. And they did not add anything to the show, but they were the Oliver factor.
So cute.
They were cute, but they didn't add anything to the show. It just seemed like too many people in the house at that point.
Okay, can we all just for just 1 second, how the hell did they afford that house? Mm-hmm. There's only one of them that is actually bringing in two, Rebecca and Danny. are the only two bringing in a solid income. How is Danny affording this motherfucking house in San Francisco?
Well, how is it that he was a neat freak, but yet he didn't care about the utility bills? Like, that electric bill alone had to be amazingly high. And I'm just saying, I mean, he's in San Francisco, so that stuff supposed to be really expensive.
Right?
Even for back then.
Can we just talk about the fact that they magically had an attic that magically appeared right when Jesse and Rebecca happened to get together? Yes. Oh, look, this attic that's the perfect size of a studio apartment just happens to be here.
Yeah.
Why didn't we utilize this earlier? Fuck if we know. Like,
yeah. All right, well, let's talk about these discrepancies because I have a whole list of them.
Lay it on me, lady, because that one pisses me off.
That was definitely a discrepancy. It's like, wait a minute, Stephanie had to move out of her room to be with DJ so Uncle Jesse could live in it with bunnies in it, yet there's this whole attic space above her.
And then Joey is down in the alcove. Do you remember that?
Yeah, he was in the basement, or he was in the garage, actually.
Well, he was in the alcove first season. He
literally
stayed
saw that.
in the living room.
Yeah, in the living room.
Then they move him down to the basement.
They moved. Yes, you're right. You're right.
Lord.
But then they also had just another thing. So when they moved him down to the garage, they had a second pair of stairs. They had 2 stairs coming down.
Yeah.
And it was like, what?
Oh, where the hell is the other?
Yeah. Where did they go? And then in Fuller House, those stairs are gone. So I'm like, where did they go? What happened? Was this a stair?
A point, because it's from the kitchen. There's one set of stairs. Right. So what? It just magically like curves around to make it, or you walk up the stairs and just into a wall.
Yeah, but no one came down them or up them, and I don't know why they were there. And often there was a plant there too. So I was like, what? Okay, that didn't make any sense. All right, so listen, the biggest discrepancy were the children. So DJ, Stephanie, and Michelle. Mm-hmm. The biggest discrepancy is that there is absolutely, positively no way that the 3 girls would have been blonde-haired and blue-eyed.
Thank you.
Jesse was the brother-in-law. Mm-hmm. So Jesse and his sister and his parents were all Greek. They had dark hair, dark eyes.
Yeah,
Danny had brown hair and brown eyes. There's no way their eye color could have been blue.
Didn't they hire the actress that did the We Miss Mom episode? She was blonde. They had an episode with a blonde, but I agree with you. 1 blonde parent does not 3 blonde children make, my friend.
I absolutely apologize. I do not remember that episode.
She was blonde. They basically filmed an actress like talking to the girls through a camera and being like, DJ, like, blah, 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 because Michelle had just been born or something. And they had her, and she was blonde, but there is no freaking way all 3 of them would have been blonde if 1 mom was blonde. Come on.
Well, and the mom could not have been blonde.
She couldn't have been blonde.
There's no way. That is a discrepancy. She could not have been blonde.
There's no way.
Because, her parents were Greek. Mm-hmm. And she was Greek. Mm-hmm. And there's just no way.
No freaking way.
Yeah.
Unless she dyed it and then the kids wouldn't.
Yeah, and she would not have had blue eyes. So when the cousin to Michelle, or actually the cousin that's to all the girls, but the cousin who's the same age as Michelle shows up, who's got dark hair, that's what the kids should have looked like.
Agreed.
They should have looked like that.
But blonde-haired, blue-eyed little girls were, oh my God, like that's just what
it was a thing.
Yeah,
it was a cute factor for sure.
Was.
Yeah. So that was a huge discrepancy. And also Jesse's kids would not have been so light skinned and blondish hair. And and may I just say one thing? I hated those boys' haircuts. It was this weird long hair that kind of bubbled all around them. I don't remember that style.
Bowl cut, but like long.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Kind of like a little shaggy dog running around.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a hair trend back then. I don't recall it. But yeah.
Oh my God.
So the other big discrepancy that happens is, again, the sisters, all the girls. Mm-hmm. Their hair was so perfectly brushed, curled, and styled, as well as their clothes very well put together, very stylish. I have a hard time that a single dad and his friends would be able to pull that off. I'm sorry. I don't know any guy in the 80s who would have done girls' hair.
My dad didn't know how to do shit.
Yeah.
My mama was the one who like would braid and put our hair up and
Yeah. My dad would just be like, well, her hair's still attached to her head. Meh, good enough. You know?
She's got hair. She's good.
Yeah, she's good. You know, yeah. So that I had an issue with how perfect everybody was. It was a little bit of an issue.
Well, I mean, that's the entire point of the show is everything's wrapped up in a nice, neat little bow. You have a problem. You communicate well.
Right.
There's no yelling. There's no screaming.
Right.
There's no slapping. It just goes.
Yeah.
And then there's perfect resolution. And the lesson is learned in one fell swoop.
Nice.
And that's the point of TV is like it's supposed to take you away from your reality of your mom and sister screaming in the other room.
No, I get that. I'm for that.
I get what you're saying though, because it was so perfect and like the attic.
Magic.
Everything just magically works. And it just kind of makes you go, that's not real life.
Well, not only that is what new bride wants to get married, have children, and live up in an attic and still be okay with everything.
Yeah.
Because I saw the episode where Rebecca says, oh, it's okay, let's live here instead of my house. But it was like, okay, honey, you have kids now. You still want to be there? Like,
right.
It would have been one thing if they said, let's just still stay there and save up money for a house. But there was no other reason for them to be there except that he missed the kids.
Right. No, the writers definitely should have been like, well, let's save up for, but that, again, that's too real. There's like this line of reality that you can't cross that line in some of these shows, man. You just got to keep it as broad and vague as possible.
Yeah. And the other thing too is, so I started having problems with the character Joey, because as everyone's getting older, he's still kind of staying in the same place. And the humor and comedy that he was putting out was no longer relevant to what was going on. And so there was a misbalance of humor that was going on with him, because Dave Coulier is a very talented comedian. He can do a lot of voices and impressions. His comedy was okay. Not my taste all the time, but he was okay. He was a comic relief for the show. But as the kids got older, his humor just kind of stayed at the same place. It just wasn't fitting. It wasn't the right match.
It was noticeable.
Yeah, it was really noticeable. They were trying to do all sorts of stuff. They added a puppet, you know. When Jesse's kids came, they show him interacting with them a lot and doing the little kid stuff. But he kind of was only comedically appropriate to kids. It got tiring. It got old. It didn't develop. So his character didn't really ever develop. It always stayed in one place. And I had looked up Dave Coulier to see what other things he did. He really did not do much after the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think he did.
Yeah. He, you know, it's not like he had a huge movie and TV career. I mean, he did stuff, but it's not much.
I can't even remember. I think I saw him do a stand-up once. And I can't even remember if I've seen him do anything other than Full House. Yeah. Other than stand-up, of course. But no, actually, you touched on a good point. That was one of the things about the show that I loved, was watching the kids grow up naturally and the character development.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. I loved the fact that you watch DJ go from a kid to a teenager, and she had everything. I mean, you know, the eating disorder episode, she had a boyfriend, new boyfriend, oh my God, best friend, struggling through high school with all the testing and stuff. You're like, oh, okay, that's relatable. And then Jody, similar thing. She was, you know, the middle child syndrome, which was like, I feel you, Jody. But like navigating that, and then Michelle and her navigation, and just like, you're watching them grow and you're watching them change as characters, but not so drastically that you're like, that's unbelievable, you would never change that drastic. No, it actually was quite natural. But then Dave was just you're right, actually. I never even thought about that, of how level he was, and he never really went up or down.
He didn't arc his character.
Did he ever get a girlfriend?
He had girlfriends throughout, but then towards the end, he didn't have anyone stick, and he actually didn't date towards the end.
Yeah, that's
which made him a really creepy uncle, or you know. It definitely gave him an off balance.
Well, I mean, friggin' Jesse grew so much.
He did.
His character grew a ton in that show.
Well, that's because John Stamos was a serious actor. He actually took acting very seriously.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah. Well, that's why one of the discrepancies was it was Jesse Cochran in the very first season, and then they changed it. So it was like, okay, that was one of them, but it was because he was so like, I want to bring my Greek culture into this, and I want to add it to my character. They're like, fuck yeah! So I'm really glad they did.
Yeah,
because it led to all of the funny, you know, like, did you know that in the show his character's name was actually Hermes?
No. Hermes.
Yes. So they mention it, like I read about it. It was like season 5 or something. And his mom calls him Hermes, and he's like, "Oh my God, like don't call me that." And apparently that was part of the show, was his character's name was Hermes, but because they were so Greek.
Oh, wow.
And then his mom was like, "Okay, fine, I'll call you something different." And they landed on Jesse. So that was a little fun fact I found. But see, that kind of development. He had a freaking original name for his character.
He did.
Who the hell does that?
No one does.
Fucking John Stamos.
Well, we all want to fuck John Stamos. Let's just admit that.
I did not say.
You said fuck John Stamos.
I said fucking.
You didn't.
I just past tense.
We did not have. Okay, we did not define the tense, but it was there.
It was past tense. It was more of a declaration.
But your eye said present tense.
Yes, my eyes.
Your lips said past, but your eyes said present.
Licking my lips while saying his name does kind of give a weird
vibe that's well, let's talk about the kids a little bit in Fuller House real quick. I just wanted to touch on this just a little bit. I had a lot of problems with the kids in Fuller House, and the reason is because the dynamic in Full House with all the girls was great. They were very intermingled with the adults. There was always something kind of going on with the adults and the kids in Full House. With Fuller House, I felt there was an arm length distance between the kids and the parents. It really felt like, well, here's a group of kids and here's a group of parents. And there wasn't a really strong connection. I mean, they tried to put Kimmy's character a connection with her daughter, and it wasn't quite there. I think because the actress, I think she's a good actress, a good child actress. I think the chemistry between her and Kimmy wasn't as strong as it could have been. And the same goes for the other kids. So DJ had 3 boys. There was no real strong connection to them. The youngest one sometimes, but then as he started walking and talking, it went away.
Well, wouldn't you argue that the entire point of the show was not the new kids, but rather the adults? Because they were, okay. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I have not watched Fuller.
What?
I know.
You chose this show.
I picked Full House, and then you're like, Fuller House. I'm like, fuck me.
I thought you wanted to do both.
It's all good, man.
Okay, well,
you tell me about Fuller House, because I'm like.
Okay, so here's what I would tell you about Fuller House, is there's a little bit of a segregation between the children and the parents.
Okay.
In comparison to Full House, where even though there was some independence between the children and the parents, there was always a coming together.
There was always a story involving
There was always
everyone.
a story, and they always came together.
Yeah.
In Fuller House, there is a huge segregation between the kids and the parents, and they don't always come together often.
Weird.
Yeah. Okay. So it there's a distance between them. So there's not the right chemistry there. But the adult acting, you've got Candace Cameron, you've got Jodie Sweetin, and you got Andrea Barber. Is that it right? Barber? They're fantastic. You're going to love them. You're going to want every episode to be about them. And there's quite a bunch that are, and those are my favorites from them. But as far as the other kids, they are very secondary to the story, and it's very obvious.
Oh, okay.
So,
it's not as much of like a family unifying kind of show.
No.
It's more of a, okay.
No. And of course, Kimmy is a fantastic character. You're just going to love her. She's just so stupid and lovable. And you're like, I want her to be my best friend now. So,
okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of twists and turns in that.
Funny, actually, that's what happened, because when the twins came around for Jesse and Rebecca, they did the same thing. They were very distant. Like you said, they weren't able to hit their mark. And, you know, girls,
they were not good.
Girls develop faster than boys.
Doesn't matter. Look, let me tell you, there's so many actors out there. I don't buy it.
Okay.
There's so many actors out there that would have done it. They could have easily had some other child actors do it.
Dude.
Yeah.
Putting the harshness on the police.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I am. So, before we go,
yes,
I am going to play a new game called Stump the Guest.
God damn it.
And that's where I ask them questions about their favorite show that they chose to see how well they know it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What famous celebrity brother was John Stamos' character named after?
Oh my God. Oh Lord.
No, it wasn't Lord.
It wasn't not Jesus Christ. Okay, that's great.
Not Jesus Christ.
Who was it?
It was Elvis Presley's twin brother, Jesse Garon Presley, who died at childbirth. John Stamos and the character were such huge Elvis fans, he asked them to change the name to Jesse, which is the name of Elvis's twin brother.
You just blew my brains in so many different ways right now. I didn't even know Elvis had a... What? Oh my God.
Just so I didn't know either.
Okay, that's great.
And I would also like to remind the audience that she told me that she knew a lot about Full House and that I could try to stump her.
I said I knew a little bit.
No. She said, go for it. Oh, yeah. Go for it.
You're gonna stump me good. I already know this. All right. All right.
You ready for your next question?
Go ahead.
What famous dog at the time stepped in to play Comet?
Oh, Jesus. I don't know.
That's right.
Who?
It was the infamous Air Bud, the dog that could jump and do hoops.
Oh, my God.
He played in an episode called Air Jesse. And he was the one helping push the ball into the hoops.
Oh my God. I remember watching that movie when I was a kid.
How did you not know Air Bud?
I know Air Bud, but I didn't know he was in the freaking thing, man.
Yeah, he was famous. Who really owns the house that is shown to be the Tanner's house in real life?
I used to know this, but my brain is farting.
Wow. I will give you a hint. You see this name on every episode.
Oh, God.
Including Fuller House.
Here, look. Oh, look.
But you haven't seen Fuller House.
Look over there. Look at that wall.
No. It was creator Jeff Franklin.
He owned that house?
He owns the house.
But they never film in it, right?
They film like the exterior a lot.
Yeah, but he gets like money every time it shows,
Well, he gets money for creating it. What are you talking about?
He won a lot of awards, by the way. Anyway,
he did.
I'm not doing so good.
You are not. So far, you are 0-0.
Yeah, that's great.
So this next question should be easy.
Oh, Lord.
Because I thought, okay, let me just at least give her an easy one. Mm-hmm. What is DJ's full name?
Oh, no. Oh, something. Donna Joe.
Keep going.
Donna Joe Tanner. No?
Close.
How am I missing DJ? Oh, wait, no. Because Joe would be her middle name, right? Nope. I'm missing a middle name?
You're missing another name.
Okay, that's too many names. No, I don't know her middle name. I figured it was Joe.
It's Donna Joe.
Uh-huh.
And it's Tanner.
Uh-huh.
But it's Donna Joe Margaret Tanner.
When the hell do they say that?
Often.
Margaret? Are you serious?
Yeah, when he got mad. Or like when Stephanie would get mad at her, she would say the full name. In fact, fine. I got that specifically off the show.
Okay, fine.
So, all right. Well, there you have it. I've stumped the guests.
Oh, she stumped me good.
I just wanted to thank you, Becca, for being on the show. It's been wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
I've had a great time. I hope you have too.
Ditto.
And this is great because this is actually in our studio. This is the first time we've had a guest in our studio. And like I said, for our listeners, if you want to see more shows, please hit that subscribe button. I will put Becca's links in the descriptions. And please send some support. Hit subscribe. This has been Ladies on a Roll. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.